Alright, so for this piece, it was originally created with EDM. So in order for this piece to sound right, there are a few things that you need to have when you're playing it. The first thing is that your rhythm must be quite rigid, because the nature of EDM is that it is computer based, right? So it'll be a very tight rhythm, so tak 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 tak. And the second thing is that the rhythm is quite tricky because there are many things that are offbeat. So if you take a look at the score, there are a lot of ties and quaver ties. So for example, this one is quite tricky because the first crotchet is actually tied over from the last quaver. So it's 4 N 1 N. So this is N 1 N, right? And then this one is 1 N 2 N3, so this is actually an N3 and it's held for a total of one count, but it's in between main beats, right? So because 1 and 2 N3, so it will sound a bit like, right? Okay, so if I were to go slowly, this is what it will sound like. It's not going to sound like what it should sound like because EDMs are quite fast. That's the first phrase. I'll do it again because I made a little mistake there. Right, so if you realize, if I were to just play this first part of the phrase, da 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 dum, so this is the first one is a crotchet rest, right? So you will 1 and 2 and remember, because this is held as a tie, the E does not come in with the first time you play the B, right? So it's 1 and 2 and right. So there's a lot of alternate movements. So in actual speed, it would sound a bit like. Actually, it has to be a lot faster because it's 150 minims per second. Per minute, right? So it will be. Yeah, so it starts to get a bit unstable there. But for you, in order for you to even be remotely a little bit fast, you have to start a lot slower in the beginning for you to nail the rhythm first. If you don't nail the rhythm, then it's never gonna sound like what you think it sounds like, right? So over here, the next variation in the left hand begins, but the right hand stays relatively similar, right? So this phrase on the right hand is actually the same as this phrase on the right hand, and this phrase on the right hand is the same as this phrase on the right hand. However, the left hand becomes a little bit more complex because you start having tight quavers as well. So the left hand rhythm sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. So you have to get used to the offbeat, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and together the right hand will be 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so yeah. So you have to practice this slowly first, and then if you join the two bars together, it will be. Also of the quaver rest on the right hand. And if you play fast, it will be. Yeah, so it starts to get a bit more. So when the left hand texture increases, it starts to feel a bit more like a fight between cyborgs, right? So if you were to join the two parts variations together, it might sound a bit like this. generally what the idea is that the first part is like the introduction to the theme on the right hand, and the second part, when the right hand melody comes out again, is when the actual like piece starts, right? Okay, then before I continue to the next part, there is actually some parts that are in the first two phrases that are also a bit more tricky that you might want to pay attention. The first one is over here. So you might miss some notes on the left hand in your pinky. So just ignore over here when you play the. Right, remember it's an E to a G and a B, and then you have to hold it. Then after you hold. It's a minim and a minim for, matching to 3 quartets, right? Four quartet beats. Then when this begins, the front part, once you practice the left hand and the right hand separately and you join them together, it should be relatively okay. But then I want you to take note of bar number 11, 12, 13, bar 14. So if I were to zoom in over here, I will start from here. So you have to notice that the rhythm here is a bit different on the right hand. So if I were to discount the way the left hand, it would sound like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right. So this is actually and 4 and so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so this is 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and with the left hand will be. What you will be playing previously, right? Because you will be coming in together. Yeah, so that's the previous bar, but here it's. So you have to wait for the one quaver, or rather, you have to hold for the one beat before your next quaver comes in. Right, so that's for this. So remember, if it sounds like it's wrong, right? So it should sound like, because remember your G have to come in with the B, right? Okay, so this is how this bar is supposed to be like, and it's one of the more tricky rhythms, right? So again, together, from the start, from the repeat of the right hand melody to the end of the first part, it will sound like this. So that's wrong. Okay, that's for the first part. So now we can take a look at the second part. It's also a bit rhythmically tricky because the motif, which is like the pattern, the pattern is actually, if you see, it's actually in threes, right? 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but the denominator on the left hand is actually in minim beats, so it's in 2 beats. So you actually have 3 against 2. So the common multiple of 3 and 2 will actually be 6, right? So 3 sets of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? So every how many bars? Sorry, 1, 2, 3. So every 3 bars, you have where the same motif start again. So for example, the first note of the 1, 2, 3 set starts together with the left hand every 3 bars, right? So because they have the common multiple. So it'll be like. And then the common multiple starts, so it will. Okay, so the tricky part is you need to practice the left hand and right hand separately, get used to the rhythm, then you join them together. right? So you need to know what the left hand chords are, right? So if you find the notes properly, it will actually be E, B, E for 4 times, and then C, G, C. And then you move up 1, which is D, A, D, right? So it will sound a bit like. I'll stop here, and then you realize that the rhythm, right, always has a forward going motion, because the triplet, it's not really a triplet, but the pattern of trees gives it that forward feeling, right? So it's a, yeah, so you need to get used to that feeling of the 3 against 2, 3 motifs of 3 against 2, right? So it's a bit like a polyrhythm. Okay, so that's for the second part. And besides the notes changes wise, right, the pattern is actually about the same. So that's for the first 2 parts. For the third pattern, it's also slightly trickier because of the right hand repeat notes and the left hand 1/2 beats, 1/2 beats. And why I say it's 1/2 beats is because, of course, it's a dotted crochet, right? But after that, it's also you hold the quiver to a crochet beat, so it's 1/2 and 1/2, right? So it will be, okay. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay. So this motif repeats for the other bars as well, but other than that, it's pretty much the same, right? And then the 3 against 2 pattern in bar number 49 starts again, just that it's simpler this time because on the left hand is only single minim notes, right? And then after that, it's followed by the key change. So the key change, you have to take note, it changes from which key, which is only the, so you go and think for yourself. It has only as F sharp, right? This is F sharp. So you go and try and remember, I taught you before which key has an F sharp only. Then we'll transition to a key that has 4 flats. So the flats are, if you see, it's B, B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat, right? So you go and think, you can go and try your scales, or you can go and see the video that I've sent you on the scales, right? What key exactly has these 4 flats, right? So the key transition is supposed to make the piece sound a bit more higher in energy, so it's a transition to the end, to the chorus or to the coda. We call it the coda, CODA, right? So the transition will sound a bit like this. So suddenly have a, right? So it sounds like there is a change in energy. There's a heightened excitement, right? So right. So but other than that, besides the notes wise, when you go and learn the notes, the rhythm is otherwise the same, right? And then for the last part, it's a repeat of the right hand, but the tricky part is it actually borrows the left hand rhythm from the first page, which is bar 7, 6, 7, 8, 9. So bar 9 on the first page, right? The 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? It comes back, but now instead of joining it to the rhythm on the right hand, it actually joins the triplet melody on the right hand. So yeah, so when there's this key change, right, a lot of flats, a lot of black keys, so you expect yourself to use the 4th finger a little bit more. So if you can see my finger, I actually use E flat, A flat, and B flat, and B flat is finger 4, right? I'm back here at the triplet again. Okay, so B flat is always 4 finger. Even here the A flat, D flat, G, A flat, the A flat is always the 4th finger, right? So this is the next part. And the last part is the same, just that instead of every 2 minims, the chord is repeated every crotchet, right? So just dum 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 dum, and then that's all the way to the end. And that's about it for this piece. So the key for this piece is just that, remember, you have to practice really slow at the beginning. Nail the rhythm first, like get it right, understand how to proportion the amount of time you should give for each notes, and then after that, once you get used to it, then you speed up.